Hello, entrepreneurial goddess. I am here to talk to you about a topic today that I know you're going to love. It's the topic of control and why it's essential that you do learn to exert control on your business and how it's actually going to really support you in your long-term motivation and your ability to serve clients. So I have a story and then I have some research to back this up. Here's a story. Several years ago, I was launching my year-long training program for women entrepreneurs in a much bigger way. And I had two things going on. Number one, I was totally in integrity with this decision because I don't believe that you can actually build a business in 6 weeks, right? There's all kinds of training programs out there that are like 6 weeks long and they give you a great start. But I knew I needed a year-long program so that I could get my clients the results they really deserve. But simultaneously to me being excited about launching this program, I was also terrified and totally locked in this commitment phobic part of myself. I'm sure none of you can relate to this, but I was going through my stories of how am I going to be responsible for these women for an entire year when I'm a free spirit and I want to be able to travel around the world. Now simultaneously, and this is how the universe works, right? I got an invitation, get this, to travel to Liberia, to Africa, and Africa was on my bucket list for that year. I had never been to Africa, to speak at a women's leadership conference and deliver clean water filtration systems to a bunch of villages with a bunch of leaders that I love. So I get this invitation in the middle of launching my year-long program. And this is like an incredible opportunity. This is right up my alley, right? And I was, of course, mortified because there was no way I was going to be able to jump ship and go to Liberia in the middle of this sort of 3-month launch to fill my group program. In the middle of this absolute angst and frustration and like really an emotional breakdown, I called one of my mentors and she said something to me that I'll never forget and that changed my life and my business forever. And I want to say this something to you. She said, go to Liberia. She said, you need to find a way to go. And here's why, Sage. She said, I know you, and you will not continue to build your business to the multi-million-dollar enterprise, reaching tens of thousands of women around the world. You won't continue to grow this business and give your gift to the women who need it if you sacrifice your own joy and your own passions. She said, so find a way to go, figure it out, problem solve it. And I was like, how's that gonna work? But I sat down and I trusted her. I was coachable. And I really looked at the dates of the trip and the launch plan that I had in place. And I realized that I could fill the program and I could get the women who signed up for the program, the 75 or 80 or so women, I could get them settled. I could deliver their first training call, get to know them on the Facebook page. And then I could go to Liberia for 2 weeks and bring in people to help train those women that had said yes to that program. And of course, from Liberia, I made them videos, I posted pictures and Facebook posts, and I really let them know like, hey, this is an opportunity for you to follow what I'm up to over here in Liberia and for you to be motivated to grow your business in whatever country you're in so that you can have a lifestyle that allows you to also say yes to opportunities like a trip across the world or an opportunity to be on TV or an opportunity to take time off because you are your own boss. You can set it up the way that you want it. I want to share just a quick piece of research that backs this up, this piece of knowledge that I want to instill in you around you believing that you can exert control on your business and have great results. I'm reading a book called Smarter, Faster, Better by Charles Duhigg, and I'll post the reference to his book below. But in that book, he talks about a study that was done with fifth graders, where they took a bunch of fifth graders and they divided them into two groups to solve a puzzle. They gave all the fifth graders a puzzle. And when the puzzle was completed, half of the fifth graders got praised for how smart they were. You're so smart to be able to do that puzzle. And the other half of fifth graders was praised for how hard they worked to get the puzzle done. When the next set of puzzles were given to these fifth graders, the group that were praised for being smart across the board chose easier puzzles and didn't work as hard. And the group that was praised for how hard they worked chose harder puzzles and did a better job completing them. Isn't that fascinating? it shows us that it's not about our talent or how smart we are. It shows us that it does depend on how willing we are to show up, take the action steps, and follow through. And you and I both know that there's a lot of people out there that are incredibly talented and they're not having the success that they should be having because they're not taking the steps to implement the strategies and the techniques that would really enable them to get their talents into the world. Because the truth is that we all have talents, we all have gifts. But the difference between you and some of the other women in the world that may not actually step up is that you, my friend, you know what real motivation is. That real motivation is something that we don't just wake up with. Motivation is a skill, it's a muscle that we have to exercise on a daily basis, right? We need to know that we can exert control on the queendom that we're building and create it the way that we want it. I'm here talking to you in the middle of my summer. To be honest, I haven't had very many days in this office. I've been out bopping around the world. I just got back from a Buddhist temple in Big Sur, California. Before that, I was hiking in the Sierras, and in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be heading down to see my family in Minnesota at our lake cabin. And after that, I'm going to get to take my team to Hawaii. So I've had a summer full of a lot of travel and a lot of adventure. And the reason I'm here talking to you, committed and dedicated to building my business, is because now my subconscious knows that I can build my business and I can live the life that I want, that I get to do both. Your subconscious needs to know that too. Your subconscious needs to know that you can reach the people you want to reach, serve the clients that you want to serve, make the money that you want to make, and stay true to all of the things that bring you joy and light you up. The time in nature, the time with your kids, the time with friends, the time traveling around the world. So whatever it is that you need to do today to exert control on your business, whether it's booking a weekend trip to somewhere that you love so that you have that on your calendar to look forward to help motivate you to put the action steps on your calendar in between your trip and now to make all of that happen, or whether it's you just really following through and really trusting your own commitment by putting a speaking engagement on the calendar or following up with a potential client. What is the small step that you need to do today to exert control on your business? And post that small action step below. I'm going to be on the Facebook page and on the blog interacting with you. And if you know of anyone who would benefit from this message today, please forward it and invite them to be a part of our community. I love you and I bless you. And until then, keep exerting control on your business. Your clients deserve that from you because they are waiting for you. They're not just waiting for someone like you. They're actually waiting for you. Mwah. Have an amazing summer.